Hello, this is Solomon Davis, Right Side Trader. Today is August 2nd, 2024, and this is my weekly market review. We're reviewing the NASDAQ 100, that's QQQ, on a quarterly chart, monthly chart, weekly chart, and a daily chart. This is all for educational purposes only because, as we all know, trading is risky. You can lose money at trading, so please check with your financial advisor. Please check with your significant other and make sure trading is something that is suitable for you. All right, let's zoom on in here right quick and see what's been going on this week. Look like we didn't reach our bottom yet. You know, a little gap down today. We couldn't really break those highs that we really need to break, have a close above there or close the gap. But let's zoom on in here to these quarterly charts and get on down to those lower time frames so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. All right, quarterly charts. Quarterly chart, still we got this red candle happening here. We haven't broke this low yet, you know, on this candle here. And also, but we have come down below our yearly R1. So that's a lot of sell pressure. I kind of, like I said, I kind of expected it to break 500. I thought maybe it would go as high as here, didn't come down, but it's been coming down pretty hard after breaking 500. Let's go down to our monthly chart and see what we see there. On the monthly chart, this is a bounce point that we're coming up to, and that might be our bounce. As we can see, we're still above the 10 moving average. That means technically we're still bullish and all. If we get a close below that 10, we turn bearish. That's the way some of us technical traders look at the market. But as you can see in the past, when we did do a pullback, it pulled back to this 10. We ended up not closing below the 10, and then the next month we ended up, you know, opening below the 10, but by the end of the month, we was back over that previous swing low. Right here, this is the top right here, and this was the swing low. That's what I'm talking about. We were back up here, and this market took off again. And the last time it did it, it didn't quite come down to the 10 and all. It bounced. Then the next month, it started out just above the 10 and went up and broke those previous highs. So now the thing is this our low now? I keep saying, is this the low? Is this the low? You know, and if this is the low, it can, as you can see. This is the beginning of the month. This is only the first couple of days of August. So again, we got a lot of time for this thing to come down lower before it actually swings back up high. And we can have a pretty good wick on this thing before it actually closes here. So be mindful of your trades, be mindful of your positions and all, and trade according to your plan and your strategies. But just be careful here where we're at right now. We're getting close there if it's not the low yet and all. But let's go down to this weekly chart and see what we see there. On this weekly chart, and on the weekly chart, I was talking about the 50 moving average. And again, we was talking about this little area right here where it looked like it was some little demand in the market, and the market shot up out of there. We actually fighting through that. Now we got to come all the way down to this little area here, and where you might, again, this is where I would call it was some resistance in the market. You had 1, 2, you had like about 2, 3 where it didn't want to break this before it actually went down, and then it actually broke above that and shot up and then came back down to this area right here and then shot out of that area. We down here at the low of this area right here. We at the top of this area right here, but we still have room to come down to this 50 moving average. As you can see, the market likes to come that when it does do a rollover, it comes pretty close to the 50, not touching it. It still stay quite a way off of it. We still quite a ways off of this 50. This is the 50. I'll just show you right here. That's the 50 and the 200 that you're seeing on this chart. The 50 and the 200. So again, it can come down a little bit lower. This is around 420 right now, so you can still easily expect this thing to come down to like a 430 or 430 to 440 easily. Maybe get into this little area right here where this market was consolidating before it dropped. You know, you got to be careful, because if it gets into this area and these guys want to sell again to get out of these positions and all this thing that went against them for so many weeks in here and so many months, but now here comes their chance to get out of their trade, it may just happen. So be careful, be careful, be careful. And all. But let's go down to the daily chart and see what we see there on the daily chart. Daily noise. The daily noise. This. Let me go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This was where I said had we made our low, I thought maybe this was our low here, but then you got a doji the next day. On the next day, that was Friday, and then come Monday we did open higher, and with a higher high and a higher low. Let me just zoom in here a little bit where you can see this a little bit better. You had a higher low and a higher high, but it's a red candle. Again, so you got to be cautious. Then come the next day, you couldn't break the high. You're underneath pivot. And again, me on the pivot, stay on the pivot. So we were underneath pivot. So again, you kind of expect this market to stay on the pivot. No, but then you got on Wednesday, the market came above pivot and all. But then you couldn't get a close above the high. You didn't get a close. You ended up closing way down here. You got an ugly looking evening star, or you got a bearish engulfing, maybe not at the right location. You couldn't get up here and close this gap. You got a lot of things where this market is giving you a warning that you got a big red candle right here in front of you too. This thing actually just gapped down here today and came all the way down to my R1 level right here and hung out down here. And we got a doji forming here. Now again, me being the bullish trader that I am, I'm saying, okay, is this the bottom? And we're going to turn around and go back up. But again, we're going to be just like it was last week. We're going to be opening below pivot. So since we're below pivot, it tends to stay below pivot. We got to get this market where it's moving up enough during the week, and by the end of the week, it's going to look like it's going to open up above pivot, so we can get this thing turning back around. Right now, it doesn't look good for us long-term bull traders and all. We just got to sit on our hands and be patient. Make sure we sell our covered calls, buy our puts, protect our position, protect our money. And that's all I got to share at this time. This is Solomon, Right Side Trader. Hope you guys had a great week. Hope you guys are have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you next week. Have a good one. Bye.